All right, so you know those Sunday afternoons when you're just glued to the screen watching true crime documentaries?
Oh, absolutely. I've had my fair share of those.
And the coroners on those shows, they always make it look so, I don't know, precise. Like they have all the answers just by looking at a body. But how realistic is that, really? Ever wondered what it takes to be a coroner in the real world?
Yeah, I've always been kind of curious about that myself. What goes on behind the scenes?
Well, today we're taking a deep dive into that world with RoleCatcher's Coroner Career Guide. They've got this awesome platform with tons of free resources, and this guide is packed with insights into what it really takes to succeed in this field.
Sounds intriguing. What kind of stuff do they cover?
Everything from the day-to-day realities of the job to the skills you need, even how to get your foot in the door. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's address the elephant in the room, shall we?
The elephant.
What does a coroner actually do all day?
Right, right. Well, according to RoleCatcher, a coroner oversees the examination of deceased individuals to determine the cause of death in uncommon circumstances. Kind of a mouthful, but that last part is key. Uncommon circumstance.
Uncommon circumstances.
Sure.
So we're not talking about your typical passing peacefully in your sleep scenario.
Not exactly. Think more along the lines of sudden deaths, accidents, homicides, any death where the cause isn't immediately obvious. A coroner's job is to piece together that puzzle, figure out what really happened.
So they're like detectives, but instead of investigating crime scenes, they're investigating, well,
Bodies, they use medical records, witness statements, and sometimes even perform autopsies to get to the bottom of things.
it's amazing how they can take all those pieces and find answers where others see only questions.
It takes a special kind of person, that's for sure. And the guide really dives into the skills you need. It's not just about science and medicine, although those are obviously crucial, but they also highlight the importance of observation, critical thinking, and get this social perceptiveness.
Social perceptiveness. Wait, you're telling me that reading people is a top skill for a coroner. Why is that so important?
Because coroners aren't just dealing with bodies, they're dealing with people. Grieving families, law enforcement officers, medical professionals. It's a highly charged environment, and being able to navigate those dynamics sensitively and effectively is crucial.
Wow, so it's not just about the science, it's about the human element too. That adds a whole other layer of complexity. So it's not exactly a career you can just, like, stumble into after watching a marathon of CSI, right?
Yeah, no, Rollcatcher's Guide makes it pretty clear that becoming a coroner takes, well, a bit more than just a passing interest in true crime. You need a strong educational foundation, specialized training, and yeah, you probably need a pretty strong stomach, too.
That's what I was thinking. I'm not sure I could handle
Right.
but for those who are cut out for it, what kind of education are we talking about?
You're going to need a solid background in science, like a medical degree, especially in forensic pathology. That's a common route. But the guide also mentions that you could have a degree in criminal justice, biology, even chemistry.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, you're basically analyzing evidence, looking for patterns, understanding how the body works, or I guess how it stopped working. But it's not all textbooks and theories, right? Rollcatcher mentioned getting some hands-on experience.
Yeah, they really emphasize that. Internships at coroners' offices, volunteering at medical examiner facilities, even shadowing experienced coroners. It's all about getting real-world exposure.
It's like an apprenticeship for, well, death investigations. You're getting your hands dirty, literally, and learning the ropes from the pros.
Yeah.
What I find really interesting, though, is, how it combines the very scientific, like meticulous side of things with the human element of an investigation. You're not just working with bodies, but with families, legal cases, even public health crises sometimes.
It's a challenging field, no doubt. The guide mentions the emotional toll it can take. Just imagine, having to tell a family that their loved one's death, it wasn't an accident, or dealing with cases involving children. It takes a lot of empathy and resilience, that's for sure.
You're right, it's like they're scientists, but also grief counselors in a way. They're the ones providing those answers, offering closure, even a sense of justice in some cases. Can't be all doom and gloom, though, right? The guide also mentioned the rewarding parts of the job.
Oh, yeah, definitely. There's a sense of purpose that comes with, being able to provide answers, help families find closure. Coroners, they play a really crucial role in the criminal justice system. Their findings often serve as key evidence in court cases. And then there's also just the intellectual satisfaction of solving these complex puzzles, using your knowledge to uncover the truth. And let's not forget the impact on public health.
Public health. That's not something I would have immediately connected to this line of work. How do coroners contribute to that?
Well, think about it. Their findings, they can help identify concerning trends, like, say, a sudden increase in drug overdoses, or maybe a cluster of deaths linked to a specific environmental factor. That information can be crucial in preventing future tragedies.
So they're like medical detectives. They spot those patterns, connect the dots, and help prevent things from happening again.
Exactly. They're at the forefront of forensic science. And with all the advancements in technology, things are becoming even more, well, let's just say it's a fascinating time to be in this field.
Now that's what I want to hear about.
Yeah.
What's got you excited in the world of death investigation these days? Give me the cutting-edge stuff, the futuristic tools, the CSI treatment.
Well, buckle up because we've entered the era of virtual autopsies.
Virtual autopsy.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like something straight out of like a futuristic sci-fi thriller. Are we talking like holograms, lasers? What is this?
Well, not quite holograms and lasers, but it is pretty high-tech. We're talking about using advanced imaging technology, things like CT scans and MRIs,
Okay.
to create like a really detailed 3D model of the body.
So no more scalpels, no more saws. It's all just ones and zeros now.
Yeah.
That is wild. But what's the advantage of going the digital route?
Well, for one thing, it's a lot less invasive, which can be, a huge relief for families who are already going through so much.
Oh, absolutely.
But it also allows coroners to examine internal organs, injuries, all with this incredible level of detail that you can't get with a traditional autopsy.
It's like having X-ray vision. You can see beneath the surface, find things that might have been missed otherwise.
Exactly. Imagine being able to, like, virtually rewind a fatal car accident.
Oh,
Like trace the trajectory of every impact to figure out exactly what caused the death, or analyze microscopic fractures in bones to see if there was any foul play involved. Virtual autopsies, they give coroners that level of precision.
that is incredible.
Yeah.
Talk about taking forensic investigation to a whole new level. Makes you wonder, what's next? Are we going to have AI assisting coroners? Maybe even predicting cause of death before it happens.
It's definitely something to think about, with how fast technology is moving. Who knows what the future holds? But even with all these incredible advancements, RoleCatcher's guide, they make it clear that it always comes back to human expertise.
Right, because no matter how advanced the tools get, you still need a skilled, compassionate person to actually interpret those findings and then communicate them effectively.
Exactly, because you're dealing with complex scientific data, but also you have to navigate these really sensitive ethical considerations, and then you're interacting with people who are at their most vulnerable. It takes a unique blend of, both head and heart to do this job well.
It sounds like it. A career that really challenges you. Intellectually, emotionally, we've talked about the demands, the rewards, the incredible advancements in this field. But if there's just one thing our listeners take away from RoleCatcher's guide, what would you say that is?
I think for me, it's the profound impact that coroners have, not just on the individual cases they work on, but on society as a whole. I mean, they're solving mysteries, they're bringing closure to families, and they're even helping to shape public health policies. It's a career that truly makes a difference.
It really is. So to all our listeners out there who are now seriously considering a career in forensics, hats off to you. And if you want that deep dive, that roadmap, RoleCatcher's Coroner Guide is the perfect place to start. This has been an eye-opening deep dive for sure, and as always, thanks for joining us. Until next time, keep those brains curious. And remember, sometimes truth really is stranger than fiction, especially in the world of forensic science.